Hey guys, it's me, Ellie, aka Looks from the Crypt, and we are here today to just get into Halloween. And it should come to absolutely no surprise to you that bitch that looks like me's favorite holiday is Halloween, of course. And in case you couldn't tell, I am fully ready to get into Halloween. I have my Spirit Halloween jersey. I just did my hair this like bright pumpkin orange color, and I even have my favorite pumpkin cider that I make it a point to buy every year. And of course, today we are going to be getting into Halloween must watches, and my list I try to comprise it of things that aren't on every fucking list known to man, because I feel like so many of these videos or lists or whatever articles you see are just comprised of just literal horror movies as opposed to movies that truly fit the vibe. Although be it all great movies, but not all of them are necessarily Halloween. I try to mostly go for things that are Halloween or absolute Halloween vibes, in addition to stuff that I feel like not everybody's fucking talking about kind of thing. So hopefully you can take a recommendation with you from this video, something that you maybe haven't seen. And if this top 10 video with all my honorable mentions isn't quite enough for you, I do have a letterbox list. I'll have linked down below with my profile. You should totally follow me on there so you could just see all the shit that I'm watching all the time that I may or may not talk about in a video, just so you can see what else I recommend for the season. I'm not going to be talking about movies in this video that I am reviewing during the month of October, because that's kind of included. You know what I mean? And this letterbox list, I'm going to be continually adding onto it until Halloween as things come up that I feel just fit the vibe. I try to mostly keep it of stuff that is currently streaming for the most part. However, I know for a fact some of this shit was literally fucking streaming a month ago and isn't right now, but so be it. It is what it is. You'll probably find your way around to them either way. And if that sounds like fun to you, grab a snack, grab a drink, and keep on watching.
Oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Halloween.
Side note, I have no idea if Ace, this brand, is regional to me or not, but if you can find this wherever the fuck you live, buy it. It's the most tasty juicy pumpkin fall time cider ever, and I fucking love it. And my goal for this list was to increase the ante of Halloween vibes with each entry. Number 10, we are starting with The Video Dead from 1987, currently streaming on Paramount Plus, Amazon, and there's also a YouTube upload if you don't have any of those streaming services. Although this movie not actually being on Halloween or Halloween time, it's still an incredibly October vibey movie, if you know what I mean. It's a low budget, hilarious 80s zombie movie with amazing makeup and effects. And in addition to that, lots of comedy sliced in the middle. So the plot of the movie is a supernatural TV gets delivered to the wrong house, and the family that receives it, they all fucking die. And then a new family moves in. They find this TV in the basement, and they discover that the television is a pathway for the living dead to walk on our plane. And this takes a really weird route with the zombies. They're emotional about it, and they're longing for their lives that they once had, and just really silly and fun and goofy. If you're looking for a not too serious movie that you can have a good time with, this is a great pick for you. Number 9 is Funhouse from 1981, currently streaming on Peacock. I consider this Tobe Hooper's overlooked classic. This is just a fucking absolutely wild carnival movie, and so basically some teens, they go to a sleazy carnival against their parents' wishes, who, tell them not to go, but they go sneak out and do it anyways. Thinking it would be really fun and exciting to go stay the night in the Funhouse ride. They, sneak in and kind of like, hide so that they can stay there overnight. However, they witness a carny commit a murder, and now they have to find their way out before the traveling carnival takes off in the morning. And this one is just, okay, it's not Halloween still, but like I feel like clowns, carnivals, and all that shit is just like a really good vibe. And then there's like a slight twist I'm not going to ruin that adds to the reason why I feel like this is a good Halloween watch. Number 8 is Popcorn from 1991, currently streaming on Shudder. And again, Popcorn is not a Halloween movie, but it fucking might as well be. A group of theater nerds host a horror film festival fully equipped with like Halloween decor, in addition to like people like wearing costumes and like shit like that. So with that being said, it completely like nails the vibe of it being Halloween. I feel like it just might as well be a Halloween movie, although it's not. This theater that they host the event had was once the scene of a tragic fire, and that's basically all I am going to say about the plot of this movie, because I feel like it could easily be spoiled if I go further into it. I know it's kind of weird to say that there's like a spoiler for a movie that came out 30 years ago, but I still feel like if you haven't experienced this classic, I want you to feel as like shocked as I did the first time I watched it. In my opinion, Popcorn is an extremely unique take on like a slasher movie. It lacks in gore and has a very low body count. However, it has such an imaginative story that goes like completely fucking sicko mode that completely makes up for all that. It's just a really campy movie, and it's so much fun. If you're looking to like watch something where you're gonna be like, oh shit, without being like extreme, this is a good watch. Number 7, we have The Midnight Hour from 1985. The full movie is uploaded onto YouTube, and any movies that are on YouTube, I will have like a link or like a playlist in the description or in a comment so you guys can go and watch them. Finally, a movie that's actually fucking Halloween. So I really recommend this movie for like a very like lighthearted, like almost like whole family can watch kind of movie. Maybe not like literal children, but like kids like 12 and up. Like everybody can enjoy like this movie, in my opinion. The plot of The Midnight Hour surrounds some friends that accidentally revive like a 300-year-old witch and everything that comes with her. And that includes everything from zombies, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, etc. Basically, everything you could fucking want to see in a movie that's about Halloween. Overall, this movie has a really like cute and goofy vibe. And if you have watched this, you'll know what I mean. But the movie made me like way more emotional than it should have. Granted, I was like high off my ass when I watched this, but like that ending made me feel something, you know? Number 6 is Hellfest from 2018. This is not streaming anywhere, but I honest to God, if you go to fucking like any Walmart and look at like their $5 bin, this movie is in it. I'm kind of salty though, because this movie was literally on like numerous streaming platforms last month. But naturally, when I go to make this video trying to have a bunch of accessible Halloween watches, it gets removed. Bruh. On Halloween, a group of friends attend a Halloween-themed, like, horror park, which is, like, super fucking dope, by the way. And then somebody disguised as, like, a scare actor begins murdering people in the park. However, it's hard to differentiate whether or not things are what they seem, if it's a part of the show or not at the end of the day. This is honestly like peak 2000s like slasher vibes. It's so much fun. We have a lot of really fun on-screen kills that I love. And then it's also super immersive in the sense that by the end of this is Hellfest is a place that you wish you could go to for Halloween. Or at least I do. Number 5 is Satan's Little Helper from 2004. This movie is not streamed, but I think you can like pay to rent it on either, I think it's on YouTube or Amazon, one of the two. Anyways, also like Diabolic DVD? Question mark? There's too many of these like fucking dope ass like movie releasing companies for me to keep track of. They just put out like a really fucking cool release of this movie. So if this interests you, that exists. The plot of Satan's Little Helper surrounds a child who's absolutely fucking obsessed with Satan, which is pretty fucking dope if you ask me. He has like this little handheld video game, like kind of like a Game Boy, where he is Satan's little helper in the game, and he befriends a man dressed as Satan in a costume who uses the child as like a pawn to help him commit murder. However, the kid thinks that it's all pretend, just like in the video game. This movie is just like the epitome of like early 2000s like dark humor at its best. And this movie is just like a movie to put on if you just want to fucking like laugh your ass off. Also, it features like the scariest Jesus costume I have ever fucking seen in my life. Number 4, this one's gonna make like some of you guys maybe want to scream at me, and this is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch from 1982, currently streaming on Peacock. This is the Halloween movie that has fucking nothing to do with the rest of the franchise at all. The series departs from being a slasher and completely abandons Michael Myers altogether. Are you interested? Probably not, but fucking trust me on this one. Just hear me out. Granted, I feel like this movie should have been like a standalone movie and not been a part of the Halloween franchise. However, it is actually one of my favorites of the entire series. Kids from around the nation are being brainwashed to want these silver shamrock Halloween masks, myself included, which are created by a man who is planning a ritualistic mass murder of like kids all around the nation via the silver shamrock masks. This is honestly like more of like a, I guess, serious like actually sit down and like watch movie, but it's so fucking good. Number 3, I'm so excited to talk about this one, and it is Idle Hands from 1999, currently streaming on Pluto TV. So I am a huge fan of like raunchy like stoner comedies and also horror, obviously. Well, buckle down. Idle Hands is a perfect mixture of the two genres, on top of it being like an ultimate 90s nostalgia movie, in addition to taking place on Halloween. It makes it even fucking better. So we have a burnout stoner character played by Devon Sawa. Also, this movie is like the most like 90s cast. Like we have Jessica Alba and Seth Green as well. His right hand is possessed by a demonic force that forces him to kill. His hand ends up forcing him to kill his two besties, one of which being Seth Green, who come to life as like wisecracking, weed smoking, munchie having zombies. I cannot recommend this movie enough. I just love this like totally 90s hilarious, cheesy, campy, like fucking Halloween must watch. And like again, like I don't think I've really ever seen a movie like this, in the sense of being like the perfect blend of like a raunchy stoner comedy and like a horror movie, and somehow it just executes it so well. And it's just so comical. Like I said, the plot is Devon Sawa has his hand he cannot control, but he's like the like goofiest like stoner dude like imaginable. So it's just really funny to see him being like controlled by this thing and trying to figure out what he can do. Like when he's like trying to get laid with the hot bitch, you know, he has it like tied up and is like posing it off as him being like kinky so he doesn't like kill her. It just good shit. Good shit. That's all I gotta say. Number 2 is Night of the Demons from 1988, which is streaming on Pluto TV, Peacock, and there is a full YouTube upload of this one as well. First off, this movie stars our fucking queen, Linnea Quigley. Do I even need to say anything else? It's Halloween night. Some teens, they meet up with like a weird goth bitch in a funeral parlor and hold a seance, and then things get fucking weird. There is like stripping, there is all sorts of demons and like just like 80s goodness. And there's also like some punkers, which like, as you will come to find out, I am a sucker for like a rock and roll horror movie, and that shit like screams Halloween to me at all times, whether or not the movie's actually Halloween or not. Evil demonic forces prevent the teens from leaving and possess each one by one. I feel like all of us have seen this one just because it's such a classic, but if you haven't, check it out this year. And I feel like this is one that kind of speaks for itself as well. And I have a couple of honorable mentions that aren't like our classic like movies before we get to our number 1. So I have a few here. I have 5. I know that's cheating, but Watch Mojo does it, so I feel like I can do it too.
Happy Halloween, you piece of trash! You stupid piece of trash! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Bring spades in your apples! Bring spade apples! Happy Halloween! Bring spade apple! Eat it!
So my first honorable mention is Rocky Horror Picture Show. This one is like an absolute fucking classic. Cult classic, even like modern day classic at this point in time. I grew up watching this shit like every year. My parents loved it, and it's just so good. It fucking stars Tim Curry, which I have like a huge soft spot for because he like reminds me of my father. Take that as you will, I guess, but like, yeah. So Rocky Horror Picture Show musical surrounds a couple who their car breaks down or some shit. I can't recall off the top of my head. It's pouring down rain. They go to this like mansion basically to see if they can use their phone. They get wrapped up in all sorts of weird shit, sex stuff, experiments, etc. And I feel like this is like a movie that doesn't really need an explanation just due to like how huge its cult following is. I mean, I'm sure wherever the fuck you live, no matter how small your town is, there is probably a local theater troupe that does like the shadow cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show every Halloween. So I don't even really need to explain this one. Yet another musical. I'm sorry, but Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of whatever the fuck. I love this movie. It is so good. Basically, Sweeney Todd, he is a barber that kills people and then drops them down to his business partner down below, and she makes them into meat pies. WNUF, which is currently on Shudder at the time I'm filming this. I did hear rumor that it's leaving soon. I don't know when it is. So I don't know if it'll still be there by the time I'm talking about this, unfortunately. But if it is, great. If it's not, I'm so sorry. But basically, WNUF feels like what it would be like flipping through the channels on Halloween, like with like newscasts and like weird commercials and all that good stuff. It's just like a pure like nostalgia piece, but made now. Spooky World is on YouTube, and this one is a weird one because I wouldn't say it's a movie by any means. It's kind of just like some guy's like 20-30 minute long advertisement for his haunted house attraction, and it's just the vibe. It's just like, if you like spooky vibes, this is a great one like to just put on. Like if you're like, for example, like having a movie night with your friends and you guys aren't ready to actually put something on you and just want something on the TV, this is a good move. My last one is a documentary. It's called Haunters, like the Art of the Scare or something like that. It's on Tubi, Pluto TV, and Amazon Prime right now. And I fucking love this documentary so much. I know I've said it before like 1,000 times that like I am just like a nerd for like horror and Halloween. So I see other people just have like such fucking passion for that shit. It like makes me feel something because I relate and like I understand what it's like to feel so deeply about these things. Haunters is basically a documentary about those who run haunted house attractions. And it goes from everything from like our classic boo haunts to like, you know, how do I say, like theatrical haunts where you're kind of like playing a part of the story and a story unfolds in front of you where there's scenes to like extreme things like Blackout or like McCaney Manor, and it's just so much fun to watch. And like I just really like feel deeply when I see like the people who run these haunts or like the scare actors talking about like their absolute devotion to the art of the scare, and it's just something I love. It just has like leaves you with like a really wholesome feeling if you're somebody like me where it just like this is just like your life kind of, and like that's like the thing you feel like a passion for. You'll really enjoy this, and honestly even if you don't, it'd probably just be still like a fun like inside look into what that world is like, whether it be from something just so innocent like somebody's backyard haunt to like literally like voluntary torture experience. And this brings us to our number one, and I'll cheers to that. My number one pick is Trick or Treat from 2009. This movie is a fucking cult classic. It did not get a theater run originally, but it's going to be in theaters this October. That is my Halloween night plan, is to go see Trick or Treat in the theaters. And if you do not fucking know this movie, you have been living under like a fucking rock for like what? The past, what is that? 15 years? Holy shit, that movie's old. And I'd be surprised if you didn't know, it's just because it's an extremely marketable movie that you cannot miss, considering like any Halloween store you go to, like Spirit, the merchandise is everywhere. This movie's just been such a cult classic for so long, so I'm just really happy to see that it's getting the recognition it deserves at this point. Trick or Treat is a Halloween anthology movie where each story is kind of interwoven to one another. They're all interconnected in some kind of way. All about the rules of Halloween that are enforced by our cutest little entity named Sam in a town where on Halloween, actual creatures and ghouls walk the earth alongside the true demons that live beside us and that look like normal people. And I'm saying if you pick one movie from this list, just one, pick Trick or Treat. It is the most Halloween-y of them all, and it just entirely encapsulates like the mysticism of Halloween spirit and what it's all about. And for me, this is a movie I watch every Halloween, yes, but it's also a movie I watch when I miss Halloween, because truly this is my favorite time of the year. This is like just my thing, and like, I don't know, Halloween makes me emotional almost, but it's like there's just like a certain kind of like vibe and spirit of it that's like so important to me, and it kind of just sort of reminds me of when, you know, things were different, like when you were young and when you were a kid. It was just like pure nostalgia, and I feel like Trick or Treat just like captures it perfectly, and it's also honestly kind of gruesome at times, but still without being too extreme. It's just a really good movie, and I'm just so excited to see on the big screen. And in addition to these, again, I do have my Letterboxd list that will have a fucking million and one movies for you to choose from if you're feeling stumped on what to watch during this October Halloween. And in addition to that, too, every movie I'm reviewing this month, like I said, I like definitely chose these movies to review during October for a reason. And those movies thus so far have included The Abomination, Hell House LLC, and The House is October Built, and then we have, I think, 3 more from here. So if you're stumped, look at my channel or the Letterboxd list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as per usual, all my links will be listed down below. And like I had said earlier, everything that is on YouTube I will have linked in some sort of fashion, whether it be the link itself or a playlist. In addition to that, my all-time Letterboxd list of fucking Halloween movies to watch. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for like letting me rant about my love for this time of year. Thank you guys for watching. This has been me, Ellie, aka Looks from the Crypt, and I just want to have a good old cheers to Halloween. Happy Halloween, you piece of trash.
Happy Halloween, you piece of trash!